important with casting when you do a film. Who are you working with?
Yeah.
Because all performances are about us, like how we're in the scene together. So who is your partner? Who are you working with?
I know. I'm in a movie right now.
You can't be good by yourself, right? And who are you working with?
Andrea Riceborough.
Oh, she's fantastic.
I know. I feel like I'm a little outgunned here, and I'll just show up with all I got.
Okay.
I'll just do everything I can to be this guy. But we had a scene the other day.
It's great casting, the two of you.
Well, I'm trying to focus on what it is that we're, of who I am. Cause I'm still like, I have a lot to learn as an actor, but I'm focusing now because I talk to people like you. I talk to other actors, and we had a moment the other day that was just sort of like, oh my God. Like, we were both, we had to sit down and we were all crying and it was a nice scene. It was like a beautiful scene. It wasn't a sad scene, but it just broke something open. And like everybody on set was sort of like, whoa, it was just a pleasant, I don't know. It's really kind of fascinating to feel that. But I never feel like I'm doing it right. Do you always feel like, do you know when you're in it?
No, I know when I'm existing out of it, which is not good.
Right.
So when I can't actually remember what I did terribly well, that's when I know, oh, okay, we're in something else now. But I need my director. I need my actors around me, and I love I love working together.
If you've worked with everybody.
Heaven for me.
You've worked with like everybody.
Oh no, there's so many people I want to work with still. I mean, I've worked with some extraordinary actors. I'd love to work with Denzel at some point. I'd love to work with Denzel.
Did you listen to? It was so funny. I interviewed Ethan Hawke about a while back.
I just worked with Ethan.
Yeah, and in the Viking movie.
Yes, he played my king.
Really?
King Arvindil.
This is in the one he did in Ireland.
Yes, and I'm now crazy about Ethan. Yeah. I mean, he was always a great actor, but just personally, what a great guy.
Yeah, he's a sweet
so
guy.
Much knowledge. Yeah, and such an artist, such an actor and director and writer, and just a Renaissance man, actually, right?
Yeah, for sure. But he was funny because he was talking about Training Day, about getting ready to work with Denzel, and he said he watched Denzel's old movies like football players watch old game films. Like he wanted to know how Denzel was going to do it so he could not get eaten alive by Denzel's acting. So he had to study Denzel so he could hold his own in scenes with him.
Right, so that he wasn't intimidated as well. But he did.
It's great. It was great.
They were fantastic together.
So is this by the guy who did The Lighthouse? Yeah,
Robert Eggers.
Is it weird?
Yeah, very weird. How'd you guess? I said to him, I'm terrified to come over and do this, particularly one because it's a pandemic, and flying into the middle of sort of a lockdown to work on a film.
Right, I know it's really scary. I just know from doing it myself. I'm in it now. It's really because I thought it would be so horrible and sad, and it is scary, and it's not 100%. Safe, but you are taking a sort of risk, but they're doing everything they can. But I thought it would be just diminishing without having the community out of scenes, to be able to kind of hang out and do, but it actually, it's kind of intense. It sort of helps the focus in a way, and it's a little sad, but it makes the work feel all the more important in a way. Yeah. I don't know what your experience was.
Yeah, no. And also just grateful to be doing the work because having gone, this is so important. And that's why I went, because I was like, I don't want to, one, let down a huge production, and two, I want to work with these people. And if we can do it with safety, how fantastic. And we did. And we did it. And the film is finished.
And you're going to move to Ireland.
They did it, and it was, and I'm moving to Belfast. And it was crazy wild, and I'm a supporting role in it. So I got to sort of, but he's really fascinating, I guess. He's He's one of the new guard. They're coming in. They're going to take over.
That's good.
He's a great filmmaker.
Yeah, I liked it. I like The Lighthouse a lot. How long have you been producing? What was the first thing you produced?
Rabbit Hole.
So, like, what was the shift there? I mean, was it your people said you should put together a production company, or you were like, I want to have more control, or what was the decision? Because I know everybody puts together a production company, but you're doing very well with it, and you're starring in a lot of it. So, why did you feel like you needed to do that?
Because I believed in the piece, and no one else was going to do it. So we bought the rights. David Lindsay-Abaire is a gorgeous, brilliant writer, and I wanted to
dark movie. That movie,
a dark movie, but so nuanced and special. And we had no money. We had to really, beg, steal, and borrow for that, because that was that subject matter, and I was not sort of where I am now in terms of my career and being able to get things made. And it was just like, please, please, please. And John Cameron Mitchell came on and was so just brilliant at going, we're going to do this, and then just beautifully directing the performances. And it's a performance piece. I was just really proud we got it made.
And you liked that? You liked all that part of it? Do you like it as much as acting, putting it together, bringing people together, casting, pulling money together, all that?
I don't like once I'm in the performance, I really try to delegate off a lot of those things. But I like being able to go, what can we do to get this actor? Because or give somebody a chance that they would never have been considered for the role. Like in Undoing, Noma had not done, she plays the lawyer, and she'd not really done film or television, a little tiny bit, but this was her big thing. And it was just great being able to go, we're going to cast her.
Yeah, she plays your friend, the lawyer?
No, she plays Hughes. Yeah, Hughes.
My God, she was spectacular.
Fabulous. Yeah. And just being able to, at the same time make artistic decisions that will help propel and support the director. I'm deeply into going, what do you need so you can go and realize your vision as a producer, and then trying to sort of corral it so that it's not blown out.
And you worked at both these last two big TV projects, The Undoing and Big Little Lies. You were actively producing, but Big Little Lies, there must have been a lot of, because Reese was part of producing that as well, or what?
Yeah.
How'd you all get along? Everybody get along good?
Yeah, I mean, we're all still very close, to the point that we do want to do a season 3 if we could, muster it all together. But otherwise, we're just, I mean, that was the first time, and we've all said it. One, you get to experience enormous success together, so that's a lovely thing to share. But we got to be on set. Yeah. We got to be up in Montecito with great characters and be together. It doesn't happen.
Right.
As we said, we've never worked. I mean, for Laura, Reese, Zoe, Shay, all of us to get to know each other and go out to dinner and be able to discuss and go, how do we change this? And we've got to fix that. And how did it go today? And what do you need? And even when we were doing the big scene at the end of BLL1 with Alex, where he's sort of, and it's really violent. And Laura's going, are you okay? After each scene where we're being thrown around and punched, kicked, and we're all going, are you okay? Are you okay? Oh, your head almost just hit the ground. No. What about your arm? Just being able to advocate for each other as well was really just good. It felt good.
Oh, it's so wild. The three, just Reese and Laura and you having been working so long, and I guess it's only the first time you've worked with either of them together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And subsequently have now, because it's been years that we've now been in each other's lives. But we all started as around 14. I think Reese even started younger. She was maybe 12. So we've shared all those stories.
Wow.
And that's a particular path, having started as a child actor and come all the way through.
And this whole thing you did with Hugh Grant being like this filthy monster, like with The Undoing, he's definitely a different thing, and you're watching it to see, Hugh Grant,
right?
And you're watching you and old Donald Sutherland doing his thing. Wow.
Yeah, Donald has great stories.
He's like a weathered mountain, Donald Sutherland.
Weathered mountain. Yeah, and just talk about having great partners to work with. I mean, Donald, he's so on it. All his dialogue, all his ideas are superb.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's over 80 and he comes in and he's just extraordinary and a force. And for me, looks a little like my dad, has the essence of my father. So I didn't have to, I just wanted to go and put my head on his shoulder, be held by him, which is a fantastic thing as an actor, because if that's there, that vibration exists just because. That's a fantastic thing. I don't have to work for that. I don't have to find it. I don't have to explore it, because that's just there in the air.
You got to look for. Don't you have to look for that in almost any role you're playing? Isn't it better when you can find that's something that's just there, or that you can connect with, as
that
yourself?
Just vibrates between you without. Yeah, something that's just. I
guess you can't force it.
That you can't. No. That's what I mean by the unconscious. It's so wonderful when that feeling of everything you don't know comes flowing out of you, and you didn't even know it was there. That's sort of probably what Stanley was always interested in. That's why he shot for so long. He wasn't interested in what he could do. He was interested in finding what he didn't know, and that was suddenly there. And it was a discovery. And so a lot of his rehearsal, a lot of his time was spent experimenting. And there's something to be said for that.
Oh, yeah. It's great. If you want to, it's amazing that he took that time using film. I mean, now it's easy. Like, if you have time, you can just blow through takes all day long with digital. But he was doing that with rolls of film. It's crazy. The movie I'm shooting now, he's shooting on film. And it's crazy. Because, you actually have to check a gate, and then you have to wait to reload. Just did that. Oh, you did it up there with?
Yeah, that was on Robert's movie, on Egger's movie. Yeah, it was like, check the gate, and you stand around going, because otherwise, because he was shooting a lot of things in one shot, and we would do a lot of takes, and then suddenly you have a take that's print. Well, then you got to check the gate. So we'd all stand there holding our breath.
Right. You don't want to direct?
Have you had a hair in the gate?
No, I haven't heard. It hasn't happened yet. No.
No.
What about directing? Okay, what's going on? Have you tried directing? Do I not know?
No. I'm happy being an actor
and a producer.
Yeah, but I love the art form of acting. I just do. And I used to be embarrassed to say it was an art form, but it is, and I embrace it, and I love it, and it is. I'm deeply attached to what it is, and I've given a huge amount of my life to it.
Yeah, and it's like, that's the amazing thing what we were talking about at the beginning, where it's sort of like every time you do something, it seems like people are like, either like, rediscovering you, or like all of a sudden, like they're like, oh my God, she's so amazing. Like, you've always been amazing. Like, the work you've done is so varied and interesting and, different. It's really a great...
weird.
Some of it's weird. Some of it's weird. But you can tell that you're doing it because you love to do it, and you want to take these chances within these characters to engage in what interests you about living,
Yeah, and I want to, I do. I want to support auteurs.
Yeah.
I want their voices out there. I want
that's what you're doing as a producer.
To be supported.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as an actor. It's why I went for Eggers, because I was like, okay, this is one of the auteurs, so yes, let's, I love financiers that are doing that. Anna Milshon, he's putting the money up for that, and so I have to contribute. That's part of my life's contribution is helping those voices
they
be
have
heard.
to.
And there's, they do. They have to. And I've learned so much through it.
And it's like, it's so great to see movies like this.